Close your eyes. Imagine the quiet of a Roman night. The marble streets glisten under lantern light, and the hum of the city has faded into stillness. In the distance, the Tiber flows steadily, its waters reflecting the stars above. Within the palace walls, a boy lies awake, not dreaming of feasts or triumphs, but listening to the silence. This boy would become Marcus Aurelius, a man remembered not only as an emperor, but as a philosopher whose wisdom still soothes hearts centuries later. Marcus was born into privilege, yet from the beginning he was different. Where other children chased games and laughter, Marcus was drawn to reflection. He preferred books, questions, and the company of mentors. His teachers were Stoics, philosophers who taught him that life's storms could be met with calm, that the mind was stronger than circumstance, and that virtue was the highest good. They reminded him, you cannot control what happens outside you, but you can always control how you respond. Even as a child, Marcus would sit quietly, breathing slowly, imagining himself as a steady rock in a rushing river. These small practices prepared him for the great storms ahead. As he grew, fate led Marcus toward power. Adopted into the imperial family trained for leadership, he was chosen as heir. Yet his heart was not eager for the throne. He would have preferred a life of study and quiet reflection, but he accepted his duty with humility. When the crown rested upon his head, he felt not pride but weight, the heavy weight of responsibility. To him, being emperor was not about glory, but service. He whispered to himself at night, remember, Marcus, you are a man, not a god. Serve the people, serve reason, serve truth. Even in these early years, Marcus carried a notebook. By lamplight, he would write short reminders to himself, never meant for others to see. These writings would one day become his meditations. He wrote to guard his soul. Do not be carried away by anger. Do not chase pleasure, it will not last. Remember, you will die, so live with virtue while you can. These simple words became his shield. Just as Dulcinea built a wall against chaos, Marcus built a wall within himself, a wall of thought, patience, and calm. And as you lie here tonight, think of the young Marcus Aurelius, a boy who sought wisdom instead of luxury, calm instead of chaos. He did not see his crown as a prize, but as a burden to be carried with grace. Like him, you too can carry your own burdens gently. You too can build your wall of calm brick by brick with patience and understanding. Breathe deeply and let his words echo within you. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Let that thought be your pillow tonight, steadying your heart as you drift into peaceful sleep. Marcus Aurelius did not inherit an easy throne. His reign was marked by turmoil. On the empire's borders, enemies pressed, demanding constant defense. Within Rome, a plague spread, bringing grief and fear to countless families. Even among his closest allies, betrayal sometimes lurked. But through it all, Marcus faced storms not with rage, but with calm. He reminded himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Each trial became his teacher, each loss a reminder of life's impermanence. At night, when the armies rested, Marcus would sit alone in his tent, a single lamp burning. He wrote not for glory nor for others, but for himself. These notes became what we now call meditations. In them, he guided his own soul. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. They were not commands to his people, but whispers to himself, a way to hold steady against the weight of empire. Marcus was not untouched by sorrow. He lost children to illness. He watched friends fall in battle. He endured betrayal. Yet he carried his grief with dignity, knowing that suffering is woven into the fabric of human life. To himself he wrote, when you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. These words did not erase his pain, but they gave him the courage to keep walking, one step at a time through the storms. What made Marcus Aurelius unique was not his crown, but his heart. He saw leadership not as command, but as service. He taught by example, patience in hardship, humility in power, calm in chaos. He knew wealth and fame were fleeting, but virtue endured. and so he reminded himself daily. Do not waste what remains of your life in dwelling on what others do or say. Keep to what is truly your own work. As you rest tonight, imagine Marcus alone in his tent, the empire heavy on his shoulders, yet his mind steady, his pen scratching gently across parchment. He did not deny pain. He did not escape responsibility, but he chose to face both with calm. And so, his lesson for you tonight is this. When storms rise in your life, remember the lamp of Marcus Aurelius. Remember that peace is not the absence of difficulty, but the presence of calm within you. Breathe deeply, and let that calm become your shield as sleep gathers you. Marcus Aurelius ruled not as a man hungry for power, but as a student of wisdom. He saw the throne not as a gift, but as a trial. Each day tested his patience, each decision weighed his soul, yet he returned always to the same truth. Virtue is enough. Even as he wore a crown, he reminded himself he was only a man. Dust, breath, and thought. Nothing more, nothing less. And in this humility lay his strength. In his meditations, Marcus left us fragments of his nightly reflections, words written not for the world, but for himself. Reminders whispered in the dark. Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them. If it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. Death smiles at us all. All a man can do is smile back. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. These are not the words of a conqueror, but of a soul seeking balance, urging us to live simply, with gratitude. As the years wore on, Marcus reflected more and more on time itself. He saw how emperors before him had risen and fallen, how wealth turned to dust, how names faded into silence, and so he wrote, "Consider how swiftly all things pass away and are gone. The universe is change, our life is what our thoughts make it." This was his gift to us, a reminder that nothing lasts forever, not sorrow, not joy, not even life. And because nothing lasts, each moment is precious. Each breath is enough. Now, as you rest, imagine yourself in the Roman camp with Marcus. The stars stretch endlessly above, the fire burns softly, and the emperor sits with his scroll, writing by lamplight. He pauses, looks up at the sky, and breathes deeply, the same way you breathe now. Let his words become your lullaby. You are stronger than your fears. You need only focus on what is within your control. The present moment is enough. Peace begins in the mind. So let go of today's worries, as Marcus let go of battles at the end of the day. Let go of tomorrow's fears, as he reminded himself that the future is only imagination. Rest now in the eternal present, where peace lives. Breathe deeply, and let your thoughts grow still. Imagine Marcus Aurelius beside you, steady as the stars whispering softly. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Tonight, let them be calm. Tonight, let them be kind. Tonight, let them bring you peace. And with those words, drift into sleep, carrying the wisdom of the Philosopher King.